Be my husband for $50,000. The laughter that followed was sharp, glittering, and cruel, echoing beneath the chandeliers of the grand ballroom like a toast to humiliation. Cameras flashed. Crystal glasses clinked. And in the center of it all stood a man who had already lost too much to be broken by money. Before we go any further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet strength of ordinary people, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive, and sometimes, they remind us who we truly are. The ballroom of the Whitmore Foundation Gala shimmered with wealth. Diamonds glittered against silk gowns, and polished shoes glided across marble floors imported from Italy. At the front of the stage stood Arabella Whitmore, the heiress to a billion-dollar empire, her red gown flowing like liquid fire under the golden lights. She was beautiful in a way that made people forget their own names. Confident. Untouchable. Untested by struggle. And standing a few feet away from her was Daniel Hayes, a single father in a simple gray shirt, his sleeves rolled to reveal hands roughened by years of construction work. He wasn't supposed to be there. He had only been invited because his small community project for underprivileged children had somehow caught the foundation's attention. He didn't know the rules of this world. He didn't belong among these people. But he belonged to his daughter, and that was enough for him. Earlier that evening, Arabella had been entertaining guests with a game, a mock auction, where wealthy bachelors joked about bidding for her attention for charity. It was playful. It was harmless. Until her eyes landed on Daniel. There was something about the way he stood, steady, reserved, not dazzled by the spectacle. It irritated her. Most men tried too hard around her. They bragged, they flattered, they chased. But this man simply watched, holding a small wooden jewelry box he had planned to auction for his daughter's school fundraiser. And so, in a moment of reckless amusement, she pointed at him. She waved a check in the air. $50,000. A sum that could change a life like his. Be my husband for $50,000, she said lightly, as if offering to buy a painting. The crowd roared with laughter. Some thought it was romantic. Others thought it was savage. Daniel didn't laugh. He walked toward the stage slowly, each step echoing like a heartbeat. The camera zoomed in, hungry for embarrassment. He climbed the steps, took the check from her hand, and examined it quietly. The room fell into a hush, expecting either gratitude or outrage. Instead, he placed the check gently back into her palm. He didn't speak loudly, but every word carried through the silence. He said that he couldn't be bought, not because he was rich, but because his daughter believed her father was priceless. He said that marriage wasn't a contract for rent, and love wasn't a transaction to fix someone's boredom. He thanked her for the generosity but told her she deserved someone who wanted her, not her money. And then he did something no one expected. He knelt, not before her, but to open the small wooden box in his hand. Inside was a simple silver necklace shaped like a tiny star. He explained it was for his daughter, Lily, who believed that her late mother had become the brightest star in the sky. He had worked extra shifts for months to afford it. That necklace meant more than $50,000 ever could. By the time he stood up again, the laughter was gone. Arabella felt something unfamiliar creeping up her throat, shame. Not the shallow embarrassment of social missteps, but a deep, burning realization that she had just tried to measure a man's worth in paper. Daniel walked off the stage without another word. That should have been the end. But humiliation has a way of cracking open even the strongest armor. The next morning, headlines blasted across social media. Some mocked Arabella. Others praised Daniel. The video went viral, the single dad who refused $50,000. Sponsors called. Board members questioned her judgment. But none of it stung as much as the memory of the look in Daniel's eyes, not angry, not desperate, just steady. For the first time in her life, Arabella felt small. Curiosity led her to visit the community center Daniel ran. She arrived without cameras, without security, dressed simply. What she found wasn't pity, it was purpose. The building was old, the paint chipped, the roof leaking in one corner. But children filled it with laughter. Daniel knelt on the floor helping a little boy fix a broken toy truck. His daughter Lily sat nearby, drawing stars across a piece of paper. There was no spotlight here. No applause. Just love. Arabella learned that Daniel had lost his wife to illness 3 years earlier. That he had refused higher-paying jobs because they would take him away from Lily. That he spent his free time teaching kids whose parents worked double shifts. $50,000 would have helped, but not at the cost of dignity. The heiress who had everything realized she had never built anything real. So she returned again. And again. Not with checks, but with time. She organized repairs for the roof, anonymously. She arranged scholarships through the foundation without attaching her name. Slowly, she began to understand that generosity without humility is just vanity. One afternoon, as she watched Daniel lift Lily onto his shoulders, she felt her chest tighten. Not with pride. Not with superiority. But with longing, the kind that money cannot satisfy. She approached him outside the center, her confidence softer now. She didn't offer him money. She didn't offer a joke. She offered an apology. She admitted that she had used wealth as armor. That she had never been told no. That she mistook power for value. And she thanked him for showing her the difference. Daniel listened quietly. He told her that dignity is not a luxury item. It's the one thing a person cannot afford to lose. He said he didn't hate her, he just hoped she would never again treat someone's life as a punchline. Something shifted in that moment. Not a fairy tale romance. Not a dramatic proposal. But respect. Months later, at another foundation event, far humbler this time, Arabella took the stage again. No glittering challenge. No mock auctions. She announced a new initiative supporting single parents across the city. She credited the inspiration to someone who had reminded her what true wealth looked like. In the front row, Daniel sat beside Lily, who wore her silver star necklace proudly. And when Arabella stepped down from the stage, she did something unexpected. She knelt. Not to propose. Not for spectacle. But to thank Lily for sharing her father with a world that needed him. If this story touched your heart, if you believe that dignity is worth more than dollars, please take a moment to like, comment, and share this video. Stories like this remind us that humility can transform even the proudest hearts. And before this story ends, I have a special request. Comment the word priceless if you believe no human being should ever be measured by money. Because in the end, $50,000 bought nothing. But one man's refusal changed everything. And somewhere beneath the chandeliers and the leaking rooftops, two very different worlds learn that love, respect, and character are treasures no fortune can purchase.